YouTube. I couldn't. I tried to do that part of the video a minute ago when I was using the new purple pedal, and I found out you can't move this webcam. It just goes all blurry. So instead I've fixed it to the back of the laptop, and I'm going to point you through my pedal board, which is the one that's been sitting on the floor. It does evolve a little bit. I rarely use very many of them. So I'm using this. Going to be a project at some point, probably quite good for pointing at things. So going in here, got it's a rowin tuner. It was the cheapest tuner I could get. It was like 12 quid. It is buzzing a bit when you're using it. I might need to do some work on that. I probably shouldn't be bashing that because that's the mic. Yeah, so I think I need to give it its own power supply, but it seems to work quite well. It lights up quite nicely. Going into this compressor, which I never use either. I got these belcat pedals for a bargain price when I decided that I quite like pedals. I use it occasionally, but not very often. It's more for when something doesn't sound good clean. Sometimes you get pickups that don't really work very well at low levels, and you need it to kind of make it not sound shit. It goes out of that into this as a bucky pedal, which is just new. It's basically just a bucky label sellotaped onto a Marshall footswitch. So it's like got an in and an out, and an in and an out, and a button to turn it off. So it's like a true bypass button, which has got these 3 pedals in it. Because these 2 are old. That's the stack in a box I always use. I actually quite like the washburn. That's an old Yamaha flanger. It's got Velcro in the bottom of it. It's not wanting to come out, but it's a Yamaha. That thing's mental. But it's like these 2 are like tone sucky when they're just in line. And that's a Boss Overdrive, which I got in. I bought a bass and it was in the case, and the guy said it didn't work, so I cleaned the output jack and input jack, and then it does work. I've never really fully got to use that. It's like an OS2, so it's like an OD1 and a SD1, like with a dial that changes between them, but never really used that. So anyway, when these are off, bypassed, it goes straight into the Mosky rat. I do have a real rat, which I was using actually to balance the camera on earlier on. Well, there. So I do have a real rat. There's something really comedic about this, isn't there? And I couldn't really tell the difference that much. I basically just space-wise, so I just used that. It was only 12 quid. It's pretty good. The only difference is you have to have where the filter knob's at. That's kind of, if you put it next to the real rat, the filter knob, when it sounds like that, is at 12 o'clock. It's got something wrong with it. It's got the wrong resistor in it or something, apparently. This is twinote fuzz, which is a cheap. I just bought it because I quite fancied fuzz. It was cheap and it's got 4 knobs. That's when I say I'm using fuzz, I use that. So what I basically use is that's what I use for when I say mild distortion. That's when I say rat. That's when I say fuzz. This one is a Gojira effects. Dark light meatboy fuzz. Can't remember. It is good, but I just bought that because I like that one. I fancied one with more knobs on it. But obviously that one's got the strength. There you go. So it's got the I bought that basically because the Terminator's eye light up. Who would have thought a BC Rich neck wasn't good for pressing buttons? Right, so we're getting through it now. We've got the vintage phaser, which was the first pedal I bought after I used to use my rat. The whole thing came about because I bought a fuzz pedal that didn't work off a guy in Denny, and when I got back he gave me like a Harley Benton isolated power supply thing, just a wee one, I can't remember what it's called, and that suddenly took away the problem I had with using pedals. Was when they weren't on, they just sucked the tone and they made tons of noise, because the rat pedal, the old rat, used to do it when I had it in a wall wart. I didn't realise as soon as I plugged it into the isolated power supply it was suddenly silent, and I realised, hold on, I can have lots of pedals. So I bought this one because it was like, I think it was 15 quid on Gumtree, and it's only got 1 knob, so I figured I'd be able to work it, and it's actually, I end up using it quite often. I think it's just a phase, is it a phase 90 it's called? It's a copy. It's pretty good. That's a Joyo as well as that purple one actually. And these are, I got this one, and this one for buttons off Gumtree. Someone who, the previous owners had to go sort of sanding the writing off those ones for some reason. But they're fine. It's like I don't really use chorus very much. This one's a bit noisy when you turn it on. It kind of that it seems to click like electrically when you stomp on the button. But I wanted to know what chorus, tremolo, delay and compressor was. That compressor didn't work when I got it, and then I tried it 6 months later and it did work. I used to have a Marshall pedal called Edward the compressor, which I never really used, but I really loved the name of. And when that worked again, I just thought I sold it, because I can't really sell that because it might be intermittent, because it didn't work and then it does work, and it works now. So I just sold the Marshall one. So there you go. That's my extensive pedal. Tell me, that's a micro metal muff there, which this is kind of right at the corner of my room. It's dead annoying. Everyone always stands on these pedals. So I need to I should put it in. I think I need to get myself a slightly bigger power supply. I'm just seem to be, I think that the tuner makes a bit of a buzz when you're using it to tune up. Like, it's just, I think it just needs its own output. That one's really bad for needing its own output, but it's got one. Or it may actually be, that may be the problem. Maybe it's because that's sharing with the tuner. Anyway, I don't quite have enough bits to do it. Oh, I did. Sorry. So it comes out of that, goes all the way around here, goes into the Mooer drummer pedal, which I absolutely love and I use all the time now. I don't know how I ever lived without it. Fantastic wee thing. Then it goes into a jamman, which is it's a stereo one, so it's just like, it's got 4 knobs. You can store lots of loops in it. And I bought a stereo one because I was into synthesizers. So instead of having like a stereo signal in it, I've got another, that red lead goes up into the bass amp, so I can put the bass and the guitar both through each side of the looper pedal. Yeah, so there we go. You never got to see my face, but there you go. There's the pedal board, or the pedal futon, as this is. My pal Mo called it that. It's basically just some crap shelves that I made a shelf out of. And to be honest, I'm just not much of a pedal fan, but it's nice having them there just so I can turn them off and turn them on if I ever really do fancy things. Like once you put them in a drawer, they just disappear and you never use them again. I've got some other pedals that are kind of like that. So, rock on!